Hello, I wanted to make this video. I'm kind of studying this stuff, and I got a couple things I wanted to share, and I wanted for anybody out there, if there's anybody out there that is a believer in the one true God, and that He has an only begotten Son that was the firstborn of all in heaven, being Jesus. If there's any of you out there that have the relationship with God, I need prayer heavily. I need prayer, and I need God the Father to send the Spirit of His Son, of Jesus Christ, more in me, because I've not experienced a new birth yet. I'm trying to come out of Babylon. I've been in Babylon since birth, and I've only recently, last 2 or 3 years, really heavily got involved in trying to learn the Bible and learn about God. And I've been studying the Bible for 14, 16, 18 hours a day. I can't stop doing it. And I know some things are starting to happen, but I'm still in sin. It's a little better, but I've not experienced a new birth. I need prayer. My name is John. My last name is Cook. And if there's anybody out there that has a relationship with the Father through the Son, if you guys could pray for that, I need help. But I wanted to share a couple things with you guys, because I've never really been involved with a church body, or like I said, I've never known about church or the Bible, only recently really, about a lot of these things. But I wanted to share this. I was going in John 15:26, and when it says here, but when the Comforter is come, okay, now from my understanding, the Comforter, that's Jesus, that's Jesus through His Spirit, whom I will send unto you. See, He sends it, okay, but then check this out. I will send it to you from the Father. So He's sending it from the Father. So they're both sending it. Okay, all things proceed forth from the Father. Then they go through the Son, and then from the Son they go through the angels, and then the angels bring them to us. It's incredible. I love it. But then it says, I will send it to you from the Father, even the Spirit of truth, which proceedeth from the Father. He shall testify of me. Jesus is talking about Himself in the third person. I love that, because it's the Spirit of Christ that's going to testify about Christ. It's absolutely fascinating. But you guys, look how it says the Spirit of truth. It's the Spirit of truth. Well, who is truth? Okay, Jesus tells us in John 14:6, I am the way, the truth. And then the Bible also tells us that Thy word, O God, is truth. Okay, Jesus is the Word of God. Okay, so Jesus is the truth. So it's the Spirit of truth. So obviously it's the Spirit of Jesus. It makes it plain right there. It's so simple. But yet I've never noticed that before. It's just fascinating to me. But I wanted to show you guys, if there's any Adventists that are watching this, it's about the fundamental principles, and it's about how the 28 fundamental principles that they currently hold, which are different from the originals. The church nowadays, from what I understand, they're using it to be a creed, and I'm seeing a lot of people being kicked out of the church because of this, and this is a bad thing, because I want to show you. Check this out. I took some screenshots. Yeah, this right here is from John Loughborough, and it's the steps of apostasy. Now check this out, you guys. It says the first step of apostasy is to set up a creed, or to get up a creed, telling us what we shall believe. So you're forcing beliefs onto people. Okay, that should never be done. We know God does not force nothing on us. Okay. The second is to make that creed a test of fellowship. So you test your church members by it. The third is to try the church members by that creed. So you're going to test them and try them after you force it on them. And then the fourth is to denounce as heretics those who do not believe that creed. You guys see what's happening here? The Bible, the Word of God, is what we all must go by. Nothing is above the Bible. No church creed on this earth or Ellen White or anything trumps the Bible, the Word of God. So this is terrible that churches are doing this to people. And then it says, and fifth, to commence persecution against those people. It's a terrible, terrible thing. God does not do this, and His church should not be doing it either. It's absolutely filthy. All right, now there's another thing I wanted to show you guys. This is fascinating to me. It's about the fundamental principles, because if you guys look at your guys' fundamental principles from the 1872 and the 1889 versions, they are different. They've been changed. Nobody can deny that. And I can't believe more people are not talking about this. Because if there is any Seventh-day Adventists watching this, you of all people should know. You guys know Satan. You know Lucifer. You know who he is. You know about all his billions of angels that are at his beck and call, his command. You know all the deceptions that he brings. So you of all people, the Seventh-day Adventists, should not be deceived on these matters. Okay, the remnant church, should not be deceived on these matters. Okay, you guys are the people God has raised on this earth to let all of us that are in Babylon, to help us come out of Babylon, to learn the truth from the Protestant churches and from the Catholic churches and from Buddhism and Hinduism and from just being a worldly person our whole lives. So you guys got to do a better job. You may have to lose your jobs, but we must stand on this truth, you guys. So if we look at 1870, let's read this. It says and real quick, this is from, you know what, I had it on here. It's from Special Testimonies, Volume B, I believe, Part B, from Ellen White. But let's check out what it says. It says, the enemy of souls has sought to bring in the supposition that a great reformation was to take place among Seventh-day Adventists, and that this reformation would consist in giving up the doctrines which stand as the pillars of our faith. You guys, these are these fundamental principles that were in place during the entire life of Ellen G. White. So there is no error in them. They were established by God. And engaging in a process of reorganization. Now, if you guys let's continue. Were this reformation to take place, so it hasn't taken place yet, if it were to, what would result? And then she names what would happen. The principles of truth. The principles of truth. You guys, that's your fundamental principles. That God, in His wisdom, has given to the remnant church would be discarded. Our religion would be changed. Now, if you're a Seventh-day Adventist, you need to answer yourself one question. Were these principles changed? Were they discarded? And ultimately, was the religion of the Seventh-day Adventists changed? And anybody logically, if you're looking at this and you do the research, it has been. Okay, now in the Advent people that are in the world, I'm not an Advent person. I'm trying to be. I want to be. But like I told you, I am still in sin. I'm trying to have the Spirit of Christ to work with me, so to overcome all these. I have so many deficiencies, and I've been in sin my whole life, and I've never even known. I didn't even know what sin was until a couple years ago. So the Lord, I need the Lord to deliver me. The same Spirit that allowed Jesus to overcome all the sin that was in His life. Well, let me rephrase that. No sin was in His life. He never sinned, but He was tempted by all the sin that we're tempted of. But He overcame every single inch of it. That's the Spirit I need, because I have lived a very sinful life. I'm one of the most sinful men that I know. It's terrible. I mean, I'm in prison in my mind from all this. But I feel God is really trying to wake me up and to bring me to salvation. So anybody, please pray for me. I need it desperately. But if we look at the next one here, to continue, it says that the fundamental principles that have sustained the work for the last 50 years would be accounted as error. A new organization would be established. This is the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Okay, a new organization will be established. Books of a new order would be written. Okay, so you got new books, you got the fundamental principles being changed, the religion being changed, a new organization being established. And then it says a system of intellectual philosophy would be introduced. The founders of this system would go into the cities and do a wonderful work. The Sabbath, of course, would be lightly regarded as also the God who created it. Nothing would be allowed to stand in the way of the new movement. Now, if you're a Seventh-day Adventist, you guys need to ask yourself these questions. All these things have happened. So if you do the research, you do the readings, and you really look at this with an unbiased opinion, these things have all happened. The Adventist Church, it looks to be in deep apostasy, holding a creed above all of its members. And that's so wrong. So I just wanted to share that because I'm learning about all these things, and it's just so fascinating. I had no idea that God had a denomination, that he actually rose up on the earth after the wilderness, the 1798 time of the end, and that's when his church came out, because the beast got its deadly wound when the Pope was taken captive, and then the church was allowed to be free for a time so that it could establish itself. It could read the Bible, study the Bible, figure out all the Bible truth, and take it to the world. And that's the remnant church. That's the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The only church that God has worked through, okay, in our modern time. It's undeniable if you study these things. And I'm not even an Adventist, but it's obvious. But I want to be. I want to be like the pioneers. I want the one true God in my life. And I want his only begotten Son, the Spirit of his only begotten Son, to come inside my body, to give me a new spirit, to give me a new mind, to give me his mind and his thoughts, so that I can overcome all the sin. Because I've tried everything, I can't do it. I'm too weak in the flesh. I can't. The only way this is going to happen for me is that the Spirit of Jesus, the Son, that it comes inside of me, so that it can deliver me. It's the only way. So my videos don't really get a lot of views, but if anybody comes across this, I really need prayers. But I need prayers to the right God, to the only true God, that is God the Father, through his Son Jesus Christ. So that's what I'm asking. If anybody listens to this, pray for me. And that's it. I just wanted to share that. So thank you guys, and I will probably make some more videos soon. God bless.